Hello, what's up? Welcome. It's been a minute since I've done a video. Hope you allow me the grace. It's been kind of getting a game out is no easy task, I'll tell you that. But right now I'm working on this beginning of the game where it plays you this cutscene at the beginning and then it drops you in the game's world. And I finally noticed that is kind of an immersion killer. You're dropped into this world you've never seen before, and there's no music at the beginning, it's all silent, and it doesn't match the tone at all of the intro. So what I'm working on now is making the very end of the intro play this nice tail, and so that it's got a little bit of extra audio that it can blend into the beginning screen that you get dropped on, and then also adding a little music to the beginning of the game that blends nicely with this outro here. There's that tail, and then adding in a little music that that blends that with the tone that you're gonna hear almost next to that, which is gonna be where you pick up the sword and you get this crazy, like, beautiful, like, happy, lighthearted, Nintendo-y theme. So this is kind of a mix of those. And to me, this is kind of like, it's sort of lighthearted and it's sort of mysterious. Just kind of like, so it blends that intro with that lighthearted tone that the characters start to talk with. And I hope that this kind of works. So let me render this out in Fmod. Now this is all exported from Ableton. I can build it here in Fmod, and that'll basically allow this to be played in the game. Another thing I'm considering for the intro is actually showing a little bit of what Xera looks like. There's a part of the intro where it says, a planet named Xera, abandoned after the Great War, and it spends like 4 of its lines like looking at the planet as it slowly fades in, and maybe 2 of those lines could be shots of the planet itself, the game itself, the game's environment. So you have, so when it finally opens the screen and you see it, it's not the first time you've seen it, so it's kind of not as much of an immersion killer. So also the intro is a little bit louder to kind of bring this out, because it was so quiet that you really, unless you had headphones on and they were up at a nice decent volume, you really couldn't tell it was even had any audio right here. This is all just a very minor touch, you would say, but really anything that kills immersion, anything that breaks the atmosphere of the game is something that, in my opinion, should be fixed. So these 2 right here could be it fading in on there, and boom, right here you can show a bit of the world, and it could even be random. It can show the actual overworld that you're about to explore. Okay, I didn't notice it actually, that new fade out. Oh, maybe it actually faded out the music at the end of the flux or the phase. Well, load, that's where it plays. Oh yeah, here it does, it fades out the music. Let's just not do that. Unless this was done early. That one would be early. Okay, and this one would be done on time. Oh, so that's the one that we don't want it to fade. If it plays through the whole thing, don't fade. If we held, here we go, if we held the whole label and all that, then we would want to fade out. And also, if this case right here, this is for consoles. Okay, I think that should help it, so it allows it to play out the intro sound into the first scene there. So we kind of got to watch it all again. Actually, shoot, we might as well try. Yeah, I'm going to try this right now. Trying out a scene. I've already got it. This phase cutscene, or the intro and outro are both derived here from phase cutscenes. And the outro already uses a few scenes from the game. So it's already got the ability to play those kind of scenes. I'm just going to copy that from outro. Let's see, I don't think it's that difficult. Here's the bridge, but that is kind of difficult because there's a lot to it. But I'm talking about no characters, so this ought to be easier. Like, which one is it? It's not Dead. It's Bella, not Bellatrix, not Zara. I guess one of them is Smith. Let's change area. This is a phase outro. This needs to be all these need to be functions of phase cutscenes if we're going to want to reuse this stuff. So let's put it here. Okay, let's get these into the class signature. Okay. This one line should really be a part of whatever specific area needed that, but fuck it. Just leave it there. Can't make it all perfect. This is basically just something that will take a long time to freaking figure out exactly what it was and test it like hell. to make sure it all works. So it's just really not worth the effort. Might as well just leave it there because really there's only one area that needs it, and all the others don't matter if you apply that to it. So looks like this compiled fine, so that's good. We would want to use something like change area. Some of these have slide camera, change area. I think it's something like this. The bridge is one of the first ones, so I think this would work to copy this one. Let's do that. And then we're going to add this to phase intro. And we'll call this scene Overworld. And then we're going to add it into phase intros, list of scenes it's going to play. So Xera was the one with the 4. Yeah, it had 4 of these. Let's do this Overworld, play that there and there. And we'll get the timing and everything right for Xera. Actually, we might as well do it first. Xera, let's get that that movement. If sometimes some of these are programmed, some of these need scene duration times total. Parent move by duration. Oh, duration is scene duration times total. Okay, so this other one was actually wrong. Okay. And the other thing would be to move this 80, that's a nice 120. These might need to be less to really give it a slower movement, so let's just experiment. Okay, now we need the overworld scene to... Alright, so we're going to find a pattern on the overworld. Let's start with either a waterfall or a rock face. Start with K pattern, rock face 1. Just make sure that Okay, that should be enough to see if this works. Okay, so when running this, I got 2 things to watch for. One is this, if this new overworld scene, well, 3 things to watch for. One is if this overworld scene works right. 2 is if the other scene, Xera, which we kind of stole some of its time from, if that still looks okay. And then also, if the very end of the intro, the sound, the music, blends into the actual first area. What happened? Oh, because that one area. Alright, well, what happens after we change area is we have to clear the old area when we get to the next scene. Like when going from, what is it? Oh, here. Something like that. So after Overworld was Xera's Surface. This one. Okay, so that needs these kind of things to clear it all up. It's weird that the fire was wrong. Anyway. Oh, we're looking in the wrong Z. It needs to be Z0, rock face 1. Maybe that's why I didn't change the area correctly. Okay, well, I was kind of thinking though that this was actually Overworld and then Overworld 2, like maybe 2 scenes, 2 separate areas. So that's worth trying. So we'll do pattern rock face and then we'll find the first waterfall. And should be, this is 1 scene duration now, so that should actually be total. Okay, well. All right, let's take it from the top. I can, of course, speed through this by speeding up time and stuff like that, but I really want to hear that that outro blended, or the intro blended into the other scenes music, so I've got to let this play out naturally. Actually, that's not true. I could program it so it sets the time of the music event right whenever you hit the, you should cut it early. Yeah, I have to go through that next time. Oh, now it plays it. I think that was working. Let's give this a little less fade in. Okay, well, let's start with the old, when it cuts short, it should jump forward in the song's time to this point where it plays the very end. So that's when we, here. Instead of fading, we want to set the sound position. I think I got a function for that. Kit set sound. Yeah, set sound position. All right, we want to set event name. Oh, this already has its music. And stored in the just music. Okay, music, clear, load, set, play. Got it. So set the sound position of music to some of, is it 115.76? I think it was 118.76. Yeah. Oh no, that's 1 minute 18. 1 minute 18, so that's 78. No, that's it. Okay. It should work. And it shouldn't fail if it doesn't work, so that's good. So we'll try that. So now I can skip the whole intro. Let's check that. And it should play the sound. And why does it, oh, it needs to set its position though. Because it played the intros scene. And then it didn't clean up. This should be its own method as well. So we need a new variable. When we start off phase cutscenes, we need to save the current area so we can reset it at the end. So when we're all done, we need to verify that the area has indeed been removed and all that. Okay, so we can test this by first cutting just from the first scene, and then secondly cutting from one of the actual scenes that shows the overworld, and that should still clear the area. Oh. That appeared to work. It's sure to jump up in its intensity. Maybe I should change its volume a little. You're going to set the sound position, but let's also set the volume. I think this works. If we give it the event name, then give it like lowered volume. That did sound a little more gentle. This also kind of helps, I guess, if the player does skip the intro, at least it kind of carries the vibe through. So once again, it's one of those things that just kind of helps to maintain atmosphere. Okay, I don't think that's actually working. Set volume. There might be a function for that though, set event volume or something. Volume of music effect maybe? Get event, oh yeah. Nah, it's the same thing here. Same exact function, except this one's music volume and that one's sound volume. Oh, I guess it would be appropriate then to call it set volume of music effect. I mean, what if it was super tiny? Is this even working? I think it might be setting it and then resetting it somewhere else. Oh, this is only for, oh. This isn't even being called. And this should now be a function. Oh yeah, totally worked that time. Okay, oh. It's like set that to something reasonable there. I think. Try that. Okay, you could hear it like kick back in though. Ugh. I guess in theory I could do. Oh man, this is just. I could do a special thing where I. Son of a, I hate this app. Alright, I could add like at the very end of this, like, I mean, the intro. I could have it repeat itself there at the very end. Like way after this is played. And then you just jump to that in the timeline. Because, oh, I guess let's try it. Let's see what happens. So that's bar 37. I guess we need to open Ableton for that. Bar 37, well, how many seconds is that? I'm wondering. Fmod's not going to tell us. Or wait, does it? I guess it does. Does that actually work? Yeah, it does. It's 180, 202.53. And then we wouldn't have to set volume for that. Because we can just add some automation to the volume. Keep it at 1 the whole, or 0 the whole time. Down here, put it at like -6 or so. More like -4.5. I think it worked. So we're going for a little bit more of this. Build that. And what happens is in the if you listen to the whole intro, if you watch the whole thing, it'll play through the intro, it'll get to this end bit. You can just do that. Oops. Like that, just in case it doesn't break it apart. It'll play through the whole intro, and then the music system will start fading this out right here. It'll already be silent, and it'll just fade it out anyways and stop it by about like there. And then basically if you cut the intro short, it just skips forward to this bit where it's quieter. And that way it doesn't have to use any special stuff, code, to try and finagle the volume. That's why it's more consistent. Yeah, that sounds really good. I love that. And then you can also hear that it does blend those two tones together, so you're going to have a lot more of a smoother experience here. Okay, a couple things to verify. One is that skipping the intro once you've already started seeing some scenes doesn't break. So now I can start speeding up time. So we're going to quit the intro right after this. Okay, now it's still got that lens effect. It was supposed to run, but it didn't. So weird. Okay, so we need to clear any lens effects. I think that's just temporary effects. Slide camera. Yeah, it pushes the slide so that. Which I'm very curious why that didn't work. I mean, this obviously called change area, called slide camera, but it didn't start sliding until we quit the. So it must be something where phase slide or lens slide doesn't run if you're fluxing. It's not. Okay, so we need to debug. Alright, the first time we call this, set this right here, set this breakpoint so we can see what the heck. This is one of the most annoying things lately. having to freaking try to step into this freaking method, but it's constructing V3Fs. Which makes me want to rewrite all of that. Alright, duration 5.6 from 2. Do these look good? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So all those values are good. We're pushing back a new lens slide. Let's make sure he pushes it. And then, okay, so it never runs it. We're not getting that second breakpoint. Alright, so that's kind of explaining what's going on. It basically just never calls lens slide animate, which means that it's pushed back that effect, or it's either cleared the effect already. That's the next thing to test. Let's keep that breakpoint, and where it clears. Okay, it's gonna call this every time. So we want to set that breakpoint now. All right, we're starting. What? Okay, so it's not ticking. It's not. It must be lens's animate method. Does it even run the whole? Oh. So it's basically excluding the lens animate from running because it's the intro. So I'm considering pulling that out, but I forgot why I did that. So maybe, I don't know, there'd be two ways to solve this. Okay, so if I did that up there, all this stuff would run? So that's basically what should be the equivalent, I guess. I guess it would just always animate the lens, even if you're in pause, even if you're in. That's not what I meant. I guess that needs to be if playing, or to be totally accurate, this needs to be if playing or flux type equals k flux intro. So just this is ugly, but logically this is the most accurate. Oh, there it goes. Cool. What the hell is up with the weird ground? It's almost as if the water texture or the ground texture has been shifted. Hmm. Easiest thing to do is start off by doing these two scenes. Oh, hey, there it works perfectly. Oh, except for the ground. Oh, and the reflection. Oh, what is up with that? experiment with reversing these. Does it need to call render? Oh, see, that one looks great. This one looks weird underneath it. That was it. Wait, no. What? It's still black? That's definitely part of it. Like, it needs to sync up its... It's getting kind of late. I don't know how much more of this I can do tonight. Yeah, I gotta call this short. Well, I'm clean this up, get this ready for release. I'm doing a little, make sure this is all, you know, ready to go. Okay, so I'm basically just not gonna call overworld. This is kind of messy, but at least it's pretty much should be okay for release. I'll do one last check to make sure it still can skip correctly and still play through all correctly. Okay, that's good. Cool. So yeah, this vibe is quite well blended now. I like it. And then got the reverb to kind of keep the atmosphere in here. Music muffles. And then you pick up the sword and it changes. Whoops. Okay, so that's good. All ready to check in and yeah, so thanks for watching this video. And I hope you all have a great time today. See ya.